Excellent job by Jack McClinton. And of course, all guests on ZASLOW Show 2.0 are brought to us by the official beer of ZASLOW Show 2.0, our beer of choice, Johnny Cuba. Go pick up a refreshing six-pack of Johnny Cuba, your local Sedano's, Presidente, Winn-Dixie, Fresco y Mas. Don't forget about that Johnny Cuba picante hot sauce made with the finest Jamaican peppers. You can pick that up and all of their hot sauce flavors at Broward Meat and Fish. I told you all about that. Jack was excellent. He was really good. And for the younger Kane fan, you go back and watch some footage of Jack McClinton. I'm telling you, for the life of me, I'll never understand how that dude was not an NBA player. And yeah, he gave you some good nuggets there on what happened with the Spurs. I didn't know that. How they wanted to send him overseas. He didn't want to. That's also one of those cases where when you're not drafted, how about the Knicks? The Knicks screwing them. The Knicks. When you're not drafted in the first round, that's one of those cases where if you're not drafted in the first round, you don't want to be drafted. Because in the second round, it's not a guaranteed contract. That's why it's so important to go in the first round. Guaranteed contract. Second round's not a guaranteed contract. So if you're not drafted in the first round, you almost don't want to be drafted because you want to then be able to sign with whatever team you want. As long as they want you, of course. But you're not guaranteed to make a team in the second round when you're picked in the second round. But that's the only team that you could try and make. Otherwise, if you're not drafted in the second round and it's not going to be a guaranteed contract, you would almost rather choose which team you think you may be a good fit on, who also thinks that you would be a good fit for their team. You could choose where you want to go to try and make the team, rather than only one team, because they selected you in the second round. Neither contract's guaranteed. You may as well have some flexibility. You may as well be able to choose which team you're going to try out for. So sometimes you end up getting screwed if you're selected in the second round. You don't want to be selected at all. You want to sign as an undrafted, unrestricted free agent. Anyway, I hope everyone enjoyed hearing from Jack there. How about that? I mean, he's going to be there in Houston. And that's a cool story with Larranaga, how Coach had all the players go say hello to his family. Really good. And he's a good dude, man. I'm a big fan of Jack McClinton, if you couldn't tell. You could obviously tell. So we're going to do some NBA with Zach Harper coming up in a few minutes here. But before we do that, so the Heat are back in action tonight, coming off of a pathetic 29-point loss at home to the Brooklyn Nets. The Heat play Toronto tonight. It's a TNT game, 7:30. The Heat play Toronto tonight. The Heat are tied in the standings with Brooklyn, number 6, number 7, 40-35. The Heat do not own the tiebreak with Brooklyn because head-to-head the Nets swept the season series. Now, New York won last night. The Heat still remain 2 back in the loss column of the Knicks. Tomorrow night, they're in New York. If you have any chance of catching New York, tomorrow night is a must-win game. You pick up a game there, season series would be a tie. The Heat win that tie break because the Heat are going to win their division, the Knicks are not. You're 3 up on number 8 Atlanta. They're not going to catch you. Toronto, if they beat the Heat tonight, Toronto now is just 2 back of the Heat. Still will be really difficult for them to catch Miami, but this is a Toronto team that is jockeying for position. Because Toronto, while at number 9, Toronto would host Chicago in the play-in. If you're number 9, you got to win 2 games. You get 1 chance to win 2 games if you're number 9. If you're number 8, which is where Toronto wants to jump to, and they would if they beat the Heat tonight, you get 2 chances to win 1 game, all right? So if you're number 9, if you're Toronto right now, you get 1 chance to win 2 games. They would have to beat Chicago at home, then go on the road to face the loser of the 7-8 matchup. But if Toronto, who has a lot to play for tonight, this is why I'm telling you this, were to jump to number 8, they would have 2 chances to win 1. Toronto would then have a chance to win at the number 7 team, which in this case is Miami. And if they lose that, they would then host the winner of 9-10 in the play-in. So Toronto, who has been playing well, Toronto's got a lot to play for tonight. So difficult to know what to expect of the Heat because they play up to their competition and they played down to their competition. The Heat really squandered a major opportunity to jump to number 5. Obviously, since they're tied record-wise, they don't have the tie break, but since they're tied record-wise with Brooklyn, they still have a opportunity to get number 6. If you're number 6, you would face number 3 as it stands right now, and it looks like it's going to be number 3 Philadelphia. Philadelphia's lost 3 in a row. The Celtics have won 3 in a row. So the Celtics are back to on the heels of Milwaukee. They're 2 back at number 1 Milwaukee, but Boston is 3 up on number 3 Philadelphia. So the difference between 6 and 7 is not just the play-in now. It's looking like the difference between playing Boston in the first round or Philadelphia in the first round. And we'll ask Zach Harper coming up if he thinks who he thinks the Heat have a better chance against either one of those teams. I think the Heat would beat Philly in the first round. I don't trust that Sixer team. I don't trust the coach. I don't trust Harden. We've never seen it out of Embiid either. Embiid has never been past the second round. Embiid doesn't win big games. Now, it's not that he doesn't play well. See, there's a difference between Embiid and Harden. Embiid plays well, but doesn't win big games. Harden does not play big in big games either. So there's a difference between the two. But you put those guys together, I don't trust them. And the coach, Doc Rivers, no one flops more in the playoffs than Doc Rivers. Yeah. So I think the Heat would beat Philadelphia. Boston, I don't think the Heat would beat. I think they would put a scare into them. I think that could be a long series. So that's what's at play for the Heat here over the next couple of nights. All right, before we get to Zach Harper here, talking about newest sponsors on the show. Love when we get new sponsors, and one of them is Sheets and Giggles. You guys love it when I announced that Sheets and Giggles, my man Colin, he's the founder and CEO. He's super pumped about the Canes, about FAU. He's a South Florida guy. Super pumped about the Final Four. I was talking with him about it yesterday. I mean, we're the center of the college basketball universe, South Florida. Colin and Sheets and Giggles, they're super excited about it, all right? Hey, the ZASLOW family, we're now four of over 100,000 Americans that are sleeping on Sheets and Giggles. We've had the sheets for a couple weeks now. So soft, so breathable. It keeps me cool at night. I got the comforter, I got the sheets, I got the pillowcases, I got the eucalyptus pillow. That's right. Hey, they also have eucalyptus mattresses. And one of the coolest things about Sheets and Giggles, besides that it's all so comfortable, they're super environmentally friendly. We're talking up to 30% less energy used than cotton sheets, no pesticides, no insecticides, got that 400 thread count. You know what I'm talking about. And they got those extra deep corners so you can put the fitted sheet. Plus they tell you, there's a tag that tells you which side of your mattress this corner of the fitted sheet goes. We all hate when you put the mattress on, then you got to change. Oh, I did it the wrong way. Doesn't happen with Sheets and Giggles. They're telling you, they make it easy. Hey, sheetsgiggles.com, and you could be like the ZASLOW family, sleeping comfortably. Sheetsgiggles.com/ZASLOW. If you use my promo code ZASLOW, you get 20% off your first purchase at Sheets and Giggles. I'm telling you, you'll thank me later. Thank Colin, all right? Thank Colin for being a part of the show and his entire crew there at Sheets and Giggles. Sheetsgiggles.com.